Hey, book lovers. Welcome to Plot on the Rocks, the podcast where representation is crucial and it's always for the plot.
We're your hosts, Alicia, Rakia, and Tia, three friends dedicated to honoring the brilliance and the power of Black and POC authors.
We got some hot takes, some spoilers, don't worry, we'll always warn you, and deep convos on culture, identity, and everything in between.
Each week we dive deep into a new book, share our unfiltered thoughts, and celebrate the writers who are reshaping the literary world, one story at a time.
And fair warning, if you're here for a calm, quiet book club, this might not be what you're looking for.
Grab your favorite drink, curl up with us, and let's talk books. The ones that move us, excite us, and keep us flipping pages way past our bedtime.
So lower your expectations and let's get into the plot. Welcome to the podcast. Alicia, you want to introduce our book?
Yes, today we are talking about, that's very joyous for what we're talking about. It's not a joyous book that we're talking about. I was too excited. Today we are talking about the iconic, legendary book, Kindred by Octavia Butler. And we're going to have some serious conversations today, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
We usually do fun books, but I think this is the first not fun book that we've ever discussed. So it's a different vibe, but it was a necessary read because Octavia Butler obviously is legendary, iconic, all of those great words. One of the first Black women to, be notably recognized in the sci-fi space. So that's major.
Yeah,
they actually have, and I have to share you guys, Jesus Christ. I have to show you guys the pictures because like 2 years ago, my dad and I went to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C., the Smithsonian, and they have like a whole Afrofuturism section. And I'm 90. Yes, like it's towards like the end of the thing because it starts like from the beginning with like the slave trade and all that stuff, and then it goes to all the different decades. And at the end they have it, and I'm pretty sure she's in it. Talking about like, her contribution to sci-fi, and Afrofuturism.
That's awesome.
And I have to find it.
She should be.
Yeah,
I really need to go to that museum.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
I heard.
So you have to mentally prepare yourself. It's a lot of walking, but it's definitely like you have to. I had to recollect myself probably at the beginning where they had all because they had like the names of like the ships and all that stuff, and then I had to recollect myself where they have like a memorial to Emmett Till, and that was like once I came out of it, my dad and I had to like sit there for like a minute to just
I can imagine.
decompress. Yeah.
Honestly, the one story. My grandparents went like 2 years ago. The one thing they told me was, you're going to be pissed off and there's going to be too many white people there for your liking.
Bro, I think I told you that.
That's what they said.
Didn't I? I feel like I texted you about that when I was there. I was like, there's a lot.
Did you?
My dad, yes, and my dad made a comment. He was like, there's a lot of white people there. I was like, yeah. And it's like, I'm looking at them crazy because he was like, I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what they're thinking while they're looking at this stuff. Because, I think they can't go. It's a free country. You could fucking go. But, like, get a ticket.
I don't see nothing wrong.
Reparations, they get handed out.
Okay.
Reparations, okay?
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Then you go straight to the community in D.C. Straight to the Black community.
Yes. I don't remember if it's fair or not, but it's a good museum, and they got a soul food place like right. You're depressed, you're sad, and you go eat some good ass food.
Right.
The shitty thing is you can't take that out. You can take the food out.
To go plate.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm about to say, give me a little to go plate in a little plastic bag and send me on my way.
They said they want you to leave full. Eat all of it.
Right.
God.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of soul food, this is so off topic. I'm so sorry. And if you're listening for the first time, this is common for us. So, just enjoy the ride. Anyways, I remember when I was in St. Louis, I went to Sweetie Pies.
Ooh.
Y'all remember that show, Sweetie Pie? Y'all remember that show?
Yes. Wasn't it on the Oprah Network?
Who plays in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's a real restaurant. It was about
No, it's
a
a real
black
restaurant.
family who owned
Didn't somebody
owned the
die?
restaurant. Yes.
Okay,
I think
sorry,
it was
okay.
a grandmother. I don't know. I didn't really watch it. I just knew about the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was
I
it
went
good?
when I was y'all, that was some good soul food.
Mm.
And I honestly, I was like, you know how people be hyping stuff up sometimes.
Yeah.
And me being from North Carolina and that not being the South, I was like, you know, it's gonna be all right. But
Yeah.
no, it was good.
It was good.
I
It
feel
was
like I like regional soul food because it's different no matter where you go, but it's still kind of like, how do I make sense? Because most of them came from the Great Migration, so they all have Southern roots. But I feel like it changed as depending on like where they went, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And
Am I
kind of like,
making sense?
honestly, I've never
Yeah.
had soul food nowhere but here.
Oh, great. Okay, like I'll be honest with you. Like in New York, I've never been to a soul food restaurant in New York because my family's right there, so I don't have to. So I can't really tell you what the soul food in New York is like.
yeah.
I can't. But I can tell you my family cooks really well, but I can't tell you that I can't recommend you a restaurant. So
Yeah.
ignore
No,
me.
next time your daddy come to town, you need to make sure I'm there. Because Rakia, let me tell you something. Her dad cooks like he needs to be on top shelf.
Okay,
I said
Pop.
shelf.
Sure.
Top shelf. Yes.
We knew what you was talking about.
He won't do it. I tell you, you need to go on MasterChef. Else he won't do it because he feels like he's not like good enough, which is like insane to me. Insane. Because the shit that he
Y'all
comes
need
up
to let
with.
that go. We about to get together and have some prayer. Because ain't no way. You with the singing. Yes. She can sing
Said it.
everyone.
I
She
wasn't
just
gonna
won't
say
post the
nothing.
video. I said it. She can sing everyone. We want Alicia to be on Broadway by the end of next year.
I gotta do some training.
We want her dad. We want her dad on Top Chef.
Have you ever
by
had
the
vocal
next
training?
season.
It sounds like it. You have a very controlled voice. When I was like listening to it, like, wait, no, run this back. And I listened again. I was like, girl.
Thank you. Both of my parents are singers, so I think it's just like watching them. And I feel like that like caused a lot of anxiety too, because like they're so good, and then I'm just like, I don't know.
And
Like
meanwhile, you just as good as them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'll
You
never
are
forget.
friends.
Like
I've heard all of 3 of y'all at this point.
you've heard my mom.
See, I'm pretty sure you sent
I think
me.
I sent you. Yeah, I did
Wait,
send you one.
no. Okay.
She sent me one to send you, and I never did. And that was like a year ago, and I forgot.
Man.
I know,
Okay.
and I told her I did
actually
too.
heard all of
I
them,
told
but
her
I
I
know
did
for
too.
sure I done heard Dad.
But you heard my dad, because he sings all the time. But I remember there was like a thing. I vividly remember because they were the people that they would call on church. Like if they needed to sing something, you needed to do something. That was them. Like they did it.
Okay.
And I'll never forget. It was one of those things where it was like, okay, your parents do this, so you're going to do it too. And I'm just,
Hold on.
me? I'm like 7, 8 years old. I was like, what the heck? I'm just here. I'm trying to go to Sunday school. Like, what's happening right now? And I remember that they were doing like a variety show, and they were doing Lion King, and it was I Just Can't Wait to Be King, and they just gave me the microphone. And I'm standing there just like, here. I gave that shit back. And I was like, here you go.
Like, who told you? Who said it? Who said it?
They did not hear me sing until 5 years ago.
Your parents?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
And it was at my grandmother's funeral, and like everyone was kind of just like, what the hell? And Jared was just looking around like, you know, because he's like, oh yeah, I thought they knew. I'm like, no, because he didn't know why everyone was so like shocked. And they're just like, oh, like, okay.
wow.
Shit. But you know what's funny? My niece is the same exact way.
Really?
Same way. She'll sing in her room. She'll sing in the shower. But the minute like she's in front of people, like no. Or she'll sing, but she'll do it like goofy, like how I do it. Like I won't do it seriously.
The one who just had a birthday? That one?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's literally just like me, 1000%. So God.
Lord.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Damn, I ain't even talking about this damn book. Tia can dance. Tia can dance. Look, she's
Right.
see.
Listen, since we put stuff out there.
Rakia's a stylist, since we calling out talents.
We do it all over here. We do it all over here.
We do
and
it
we read
all.
on top of that. Okay.
Exactly. Oh my god. Okay.
Talented.
What's like the first thing you want to talk about with this book? Because I feel like I know I have my notes, but they're kind of sporadic.
Maybe we should.
But like, what is
characters, and if we like them or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think I had a character that I really genuinely liked. I had a love-dislike relationship with a lot of them. Actually, no, I like Nigel.
Yes.
I like Nigel.
Yes.
I like the girl. What was the girl's name? The one that couldn't speak.
Carrie, his wife.
Karen. So yeah,
Karen.
I like them.
I like Sarah, the head cook.
Yes, I like Sarah. Yes, I liked her too.
Mm-hmm. Sarah. Let me see.
I think that's it. I think that's all I really liked. So everybody else I kind of wanted to like. I liked, but then I didn't like. I can tell you, I hated Rufus. I hated his daddy. I hated his mom.
All of them. Garbage. Straight garbage.
And I had a love-hate relationship with Kevin and Dana.
Yeah, because she would do stuff
they
that
both
pissed me
got on
off.
my nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
there were a lot of questionable decisions made.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like they how do I word this? There were moments where I feel like both of them at the same time in different ways forgot the time period they were in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If that makes sense. And I feel like there were moments where Dana felt like where like she kind of had this thing where it's like, well, I'm not like them. I'm not like the rest of the slaves here, which is like, obviously, yeah, because you're from the future. You're not like that. But I feel like that separation made her feel like not that she was better, but there are moments where like when Rufus would treat her bad, that she was genuinely surprised by that behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And she was taken aback by, and I think it's because she felt like, well, she was different.
Yeah.
She had a privilege of not being there all the time. And that irritated me. And Kevin pissed me off too, because he was an idiot.
Yeah. I feel like he almost kind of like welcomed the experience. And to me, this is an experience that you need to be welcoming. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, so he had to do that as far as adapting, but I felt like he kind of leaned into it a little bit more than I felt like he should have.
Yes. Because there are moments where it's like, even like in the beginning where he's like, yeah, this is my wife. And she's like, well, you can't say stuff like this.
Yeah, I was immediately angry with him. Pretty much like from the beginning. Like as soon as he opened his mouth, I'm like, yes. And here's the thing. I think Dana bothered me so bad because throughout the whole story, so in case you haven't read it yet, Dana is a woman in the 70s, right?
Yeah, 1976.
Yeah, 1976. She's a writer, aspiring writer, because I mean, she's writing, but I don't think she's making money off the writing. She's working in a factory. She's independent, but she don't have a lot of family connection.
Yeah.
I think that informs a lot of her decisions, honestly.
Yes.
Because from the beginning, I was questioning her decisions. From the beginning, I was like, girl, did you think this through? Even with her marriage, why? I mean, you just picked up and married this man. Don't know him from Jim. Yeah, like
got your little food truck meal, and you smitten. Girl, stand up.
Yes, it was quick. It was
stand up.
Stand up.
Yes, and like I think that's why I never finished the show, because the show gave me anxiety, but they pissed me off
immediately. I didn't finish it either.
No.
I watched the first episodes, and
you're fine.
Too anxiety inducing for me.
Yeah, I think I did 2 episodes. I think I did maybe 1. And Kevin was stupid. Honestly? Stupid face. Like,
Now that we're talking about it, I low-key want to watch the last episode because I want to see how they did the whole arm thing. Like, how did they show that? Because I was trying to picture it in my head and I couldn't really picture exactly what was happening. I know I skipped to the end.
I think it actually got canceled. So it got canceled. So I don't even know if they finished the book, quote unquote.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Well, that would be terrible. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't finish it. Huh?
Yeah. But like their relationship, what? I'm gonna reverse. I'm gonna start from when they came back the second time, when he was gone for like 5 years. So again, if you haven't read the book, these are spoilers anyway. So if you've never read the book and you plan on reading the book, don't listen to this.
You might as well just
if you have
bad memory and you ain't gonna remember.
For real. Yeah. So like she goes back in time to like the 1800s because there's this kid, Rufus, who is like her great granddaddy or whatever. That whenever he has like a near-death experience, he like calls to her and she goes back in time. And she has to ensure that like he lives because her great whatever grandmother gets born or whatever. The second time, she brings Kevin, her husband, with him. And for context, obviously Dana is black, Kevin is white. She comes back, he doesn't. Time doesn't work the same. He's gone for 5 years. And they finally come back together. It pissed me off when they came back. And yes, I get it. You've been gone for mad long. You have to relearn all of these things. But at the end of the day, you lived in this time period as a white man. And you're going to come back with an attitude when your wife has been a slave this whole entire time. And you're going to go and lock yourself in a room because you are... shut the fuck up.
Yes.
He made me so... And Dana didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. She just let him... I would have flipped out.
But that was kind of her personality, though. She didn't say anything to anybody. She let Sarah say a little slick stuff. She let Alice talk to her hella crazy. Because me and Alice would have been tussling. Because who are you talking to?
Yes. The only person she stood up to was Rufus, which now that you bring that up, how she let anybody talk to her and wait, she didn't let Rufus do it, which is weird. And I wonder why.
Well, she felt like he knew that he owed her his life.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true.
She felt like that. And even though he did not necessarily respect that, on a level, there was a safety there she could count on. I don't think she had that safety with nobody else. And I know she would say throughout the book, oh, well, they have to live this forever. They have to do this, which is understandable on one level. Yes. However, ma'am, you are now a slave. You now live there. You going through it as well. You can't. I mean, we got to just have some kind of backbone here. And especially with her husband, especially with him. Because, that whole scene when he all angry and snapping on her, when she's been a slave for the past year almost, wasn't it? Like,
because he was there for 5 years and she was there for almost a year. Yeah,
it was like a lot of time jumping. Yeah.
Yes. Which, like, I wish I kind of would explain that a little bit more. I wish they would have she would have gone into like why it was happening, because they never really explained why it was happening. I guess it's left for us to figure out why it was. But like, and we talked about this yesterday. Like, for someone who is in an interracial relationship, the scene that kind of got me was when they were talking about getting married, and that's when they decided to tell their families about each other. So you're gonna wait that long or whatever? Fine, do what you want to do. And Kevin was like, "Yeah, my sister's fine. She can do X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
When I made the conscious decision to even just date or entertain my husband at the time, he went through a vetting process. Right? My blackness is important to me. These issues are important to me. How do you feel about it? Because if we're not there's no point of me even talking to you after this if we're not gonna align in some way, shape, or form. And obviously it worked out. You're telling me she didn't do any of that? I would assume you would, because this is the 70s. Racism was like fresh.
But it's still fresh.
We right out of Jim Crow, like.
Right. Everybody just smoking a little weed. That's it. That's the only thing that really changed. With the
Yeah.
afros and
Yes.
I am one with the sun.
Right.
It's just,
So,
and I don't know.
Yeah.
Irritation.
Yeah. She irritated me on several fronts, honestly. There were a lot of decisions. I was like, Dana, hey Dana, what you doing?
yeah.
But
I also didn't like that she was just like, oh yeah, I just kind of do whatever work I want around the house.
Yes.
And the farm. It was just like, and again, it's that air of like, oh, like I'm not here. I'm not here for a long time, you know. So it's just like whatever. I'll just
It's like I'm a
do it.
slave, but I'm not a slave.
Yes, but she's also confused as to why the other slaves like don't really like her like that.
It's the way you act,
ma'am.
It's the way you act.
right.
What's that, Pookie? That's that Pookie. He's gonna trademark us.
Shout out to you, baby. Shout out to you. But no, for real, that's why they don't like you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then hold on, I have another note too. Oh, this was something I wrote down too. I don't know if it meant anything to you, but one thing I noticed in the beginning of the book is the temp agency that she worked for, she kept calling it a slave market. I thought that was like foreshadowing to what it was. Ooh, I thought. I thought, oh my God, just should love when your brain just works.
Yes.
She's referring to it as a slave market because she thinks it's like one, but then she's actually in slavery. And it's like, damn, this is not the same fucking thing.
No. She put that on.
Am I making sense? Is that thought making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the, and this is my thing, and I think this is one of the things that really had me thinking when I was reading the book, because obviously, no, it's not the same thing. We're not getting whipped. We are not being necessarily enslaved. However, I feel like the structure of slavery that we see in the book, that specific example anyway, because I know they were different, you know, everybody was different, even in that time. So, but just the structure of how things were, how reminiscent it is of the modern workforce in America, at least. Because other countries have more rights than we do as workers here. And it really made me think, I mean, how much, it just reminded me how much of the way the country works is really direct, straight off the plantation.
Yes.
From police officers to the way the law system works, the judicial system works, like the way that jobs work, like the lack of respect that you even get as an employee here. You don't get it in most places. Like, you can get lucky and have a boss that values you, but as a whole, this country does not value workers. It does not value the people who actually do the labor. They don't care whether or not you can afford your rent or your food. They don't care. Did you get your work done?
Right.
We'll hand you this little check.
Literally.
Just like that little stupid party Rufus threw for them.
Was it a wedding? What was it?
Children's thing? Like, I mean,
right.
Yeah, I think it was a wedding.
Yes, I think it was Nigel and Carrie's wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a couple other people too, I guess, and it's crazy because, like you said, taking it back to work, any little thing you can do to boost the morale a little bit, to kind of get people to take their mind off of what's actually happening. No.
Yeah.
No. This is not boosting morale. I mean, a little bit, just to give them like little slivers of happiness, but like those little slivers don't equate to all of the hard work that they're actually doing day in and day out.
Exactly.
Right.
Ooh, we could do catered lunch every week. Pizza party.
Right. Woo. How about give me that money? Put it in my check. Matter of fact, make it a gift card so Uncle Sam don't tax it. Do that.
Right? Okay. Literally. And it was crazy. I think it was really interesting to me because I think I told y'all, I haven't, not since 12 Years a Slave, I have not watched any movies regarding slavery. That movie traumatized me. I said, nope, never again. Not doing any kind of Black trauma in my entertainment from now on. And so that's been true for books too. So I actually don't know if I've ever read a book about slavery, about the experience of it anyway, before this one. So to hear their conversations, was also very reminiscent of how I talk to some of my coworkers at past jobs. Not this job, because I like my job. But, before, especially my last job, I didn't like that job. And it was one of those things, you be nice in front of the boss. You're like, yeah, okay. As soon as they leave, yeah, you see what she was,
Literally.
The same coping mechanisms. Speaking of coping mechanisms, the children.
You said the what?
Children.
That broke my heart, literally. So, kind of what T is talking about, it was like an incident where they were like, Kevin and Dana were like low key in the cut they would sneak away to kind of, embrace each other, hug each other, talk to each other. And they ran across kids like reenacting a slave trade. Like one child was like the one running it, and then the other ones were the ones getting sold. And they were upset that they didn't get sold for as much as another child did. And I was like, this is a game meant for their enjoyment. And it's just based off what they see. Like,
I have that page open too, so I'm gonna. And this is where Kevin pissed me off too. So I'm gonna read the excerpt. So like the kids are playing the game or whatever. She said, he was like, oh, that's the game I thought they were playing. He said, I've seen them at it before. They play at field work too. Dana's obviously very like upset by this. And she's like, I shook my head. My God, why can't we go home? This place is disease. He took my hand. The kids are just imitating what they've seen adults doing. They don't understand. And the way that he talks to her about her worries is so just nonchalant. So like she says here, she's like, they don't have to understand. Even the games that they play are preparing them for their future, and that future will come whether they understand it or not. And all this man says is no doubt.
Throw the whole man away. Throw the whole man away.
I would have crashed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hard. And she's like,
there were so many times he could have been a better comfort to her. Just as a husband. And
yes, well, she kind of said, and she said, "Oh, Dana, you're reading too much into a kid's game," and she did say, "Like, you're reading too little into it."
Yeah, because most kids are playing hide and go seek and stuff like that. Not I'm finna sell you off. And I feel like with certain stuff, people are always like, kids don't understand. Kids understand that one day Mr. Johnny is here, and then somebody takes him off, and the next day he's not. Something happened to him.
Yes. They see they saw all of the things that their parents went through, their aunties and whatever. And, one thing that it just kind of reminded me is how much like, when I first went to UNCG, at the very beginning, I was doing early childhood education. And one thing they always said was that like when children are playing, they're playing to prepare themselves for life. And that you can see that with how kids use their imagination and how they're, playing pretend. And that's really what they were doing, which is like the most heartbreaking scenario that they have to be ready for. But they do have to be ready for it, They did have to be prepared in their mind for the possibility of being sold away. And they knew that. And, it was just really heartbreaking to me. And it just tells me like, okay, there's no way okay, that you can have that level of trauma to the point where the children are playing games of selling themselves and that's just supposed to go away after a
Right.
couple years of
Mm-hmm.
not happening.
Yeah, that's in your subconscious at this point. It's there. It's not going
Yes,
Yeah,
anywhere.
exactly.
like it's printed in your blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I feel like
Even
that's like. Oh, keep going.
okay, no, go ahead, and then I'll go.
No,
Go ahead.
because that's why Kevin pissed me off, because like it was very much like, oh, they're kids, they don't know what they're doing. Yes, they do. Kids aren't stupid. Like, do they know the full 1000% ramifications of it? Probably not. Probably not. But like you said, it's a subconscious thing. It's deep down that they know it's going to happen, and they're just, and what bothered me was like, this is their life. This is their everyday life. They know nothing else. So it's again, they're preparing for their future, and he's just like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Like, I would have killed him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's very telling how even though he was there, now at that point he hadn't been there for the extended period of time that he would be. But even so, you're here now.
Right.
You see these actual human beings being enslaved on this place where their lives are constantly in danger. Their lives are constantly being threatened, and you still don't really grasp
Yes, and even
the
like
seriousness of it.
even the moments like when he was in the present and she would come back, what would have pissed me off too is like the explanations that she would have to give of the time period, because I think there was a time where she had to explain what a slave catcher was, or like a patroller or whatever. So it's like, I just did this whole entire traumatic thing, and I got to explain this to you too. Like on top of that, like,
Right.
he just, I would have divorced him. I would have divorced him for the whole entire thing. I'll find somebody else with my one arm. I don't care.
Right. And because even like finding somebody else too, like, how do y'all feel about Rufy's feelings towards her? That got my mind going, because I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
I hated that turn in the story. Hate it. However, I saw it coming, unfortunately.
Yes. And imagine the trauma that she had. Because not only is that's someone you're related to.
Right.
That's your great-great-grandfather.
Yo, why didn't she tell him?
That's what it was. But he was.
Yeah, because like the laws of of time travel is you never do anything to alter time. That's like the unspoken rule of it. But like his relationship, one thing that she touched upon a lot in the book, and it's true even now, are the relationships between white people and Black people, and how white people could be so nice and be friendly to you, and then all of a sudden like something changes and you're just like, wait, what? And that happens throughout the book. Like you see it. Hold on, what's the page? I think it's page 110 with Kevin's sister, where she had a Black best friend in school, but now she doesn't want to talk to his brother because she's marrying a Black woman. He says that her sister's husband, he's like, her husband would have made a great Nazi. She's joked about it. And we see that a lot too, where white women marry these men that have these ideas, and they're just like, it's like, it doesn't, I can't get into the psychology of them. I don't know. But it doesn't matter to them.
Demons.
Or it's kind of like a cat spirit. Yeah, 22.
Was that Catch 22? Yeah.
Yeah. I went to like a predominantly white high school, and you would see all the time, like the white girls would get ran through by all the Black boys, and then after we graduated, they dated. Now they're marrying this hillbilly white dude. It's like, I thought you was with the bros. That's not what you wanted. Oh, they was cool to play around with, mess with, but no, that's not who you like. Now you got Farmer John. I'd be so confused. So confused.
Happens every day.
Mhm.
Happens
I
every
have
day.
I have an acquaintance who has a relative. I gotta be very coded with what I say. Has a relative. They're white, obviously, and they're dating a black man. And the woman voted a certain way. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they were like, I just don't understand. She's dating a black man. And I was like, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean a
No,
damn thing. Because they don't realize that, like, I think for a lot of white people, it is like to be racist, they still have this idea if you got to have a hood on, you got to be a Nazi, or it's not this underlying thing. And like, I remember, and as ironic as it is, like, my dad, I have the most, whatever the stereotype is of like the white mom, black dad, biracial, complete opposite. With me, there's one, my mom made me a fucking kente cloth outfit, made it, sewed it for a school picture day. Okay. Anyway, when I went to I went from like preschool up until third, fourth grade, predominantly black and brown school in my neighborhood. That's where I went. The school was closing. I needed to go somewhere else. So they put me in a predominantly white school, something that my mom regrets to this day for doing that. And when I was there, I'm getting third, fourth grade, my dad's having this conversation with me of just be careful. You're going to have predominantly white friends right now. Don't be surprised if they do X, Y, and Z. One, being from New York, I had this idea of like what racism was. That's just only in the South, and this is what it looks like. But it's also, why would they be my friend if they're gonna act like this? I didn't understand. So like seeing that in the book, it's like I would love to pick their brain and go into the psychology of it, of how they can separate it like that. It makes no sense.
I have a theory, and actually, science is starting to prove it, but I don't think that, how am I wording this? I don't think it's psychological. I think it's biological.
Ooh, like
I
epigenetics?
think, yeah, like epigenetics.
The
That's
looks
exactly
and
what I was going
stuff.
to say, because there are so many things that are passed down just like through the bloodline. Unless you're actively working against that and you're aware of it in the first place, you got to be aware of something before you can even change it, Then it's just going to continue. And I like one of the, let me get that bookmark, because I actually bookmarked this one part that I was like, oh gosh, even like we have to be aware as well of the things that we've brought down from the experience of slavery from our ancestors. So there's this part, it's on page 224. It says, my aunt used to say things like that to me when I was little and did something to annoy her. Girl, I'm going to skin you alive. And she'd get my uncle's belt and use it on me. But it never occurred to me that anyone could make such a threat and mean it literally as Waylon meant it now. Waylon was
The dad.
Rufus' daddy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
daddy.
I turned and left before he could see that my courage had vanished. But like, I mean, especially in the South, okay, I don't know if your family ever, like, maybe not that specific thing, but like, I've heard that stuff like that
Yeah.
all my life. Girl, I'm going to tear you up. I'm going to hurt you. You better, Oh, me too. My great grandma used to send me outside, go pick a switch, and let it be
Too little.
let it not be right.
She going out there and get it herself.
I'd have to go right back out there.
Yeah.
Boy.
I think my mom only spanked me, and she in a way experienced epigenetics firsthand.
Yes.
So not only is she dealing with what's getting passed down, she's actually lived it and she saw it. Which I can't even imagine the trauma of seeing your ancestors and having that like actually in your brain. That's too much.
Goodness.
That's too much.
And it's like the back and forth too, I feel like would throw me off, is because like I've lived this life, seen what actually happened to them, and then having to go back into my life and then try to decompress or like keep that down enough so that I can still live the life that I'm supposed to be living. Like,
Right. It was, for me, it was her cousin. What I think that was like, is he hitting you?
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And she let her think that he did, because what else is she gonna say?
Right.
Exactly.
So now we went back to slavery times. Horse baby. Like, who's gonna believe that?
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to find.
Yeah, some of all of that. I mean, this was literally a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes.
A whole nightmare in a book. Like, please God, never, ever.
This is a good ass question. Kevin is stranded in the past for 5 years, while Dana is there for less than 1 year. Why did Butler feel Kevin needed to stay in the past so much longer than Dana? How have their experiences affected their relationship to each other and the world around them? I like that question. I think, because I feel like after the 5 years, he wasn't making the comments he was making like in the beginning. Because he actually got to be in it and see it. I'm so mad she made her be the 3 year though.
Yeah.
Do you think it brought them closer? In a way, or do you think it's like a trauma bond?
I feel like low key like a trauma bond, and having him there to experience more, kind of not necessarily, maybe like taught him a little bit of a lesson to kind of see, because he came back with like scars and stuff too, because he had like a scar on his face and some other things. So like, what did you go through while we were apart? And I feel like maybe having her there and him come and get her, he was kind of like, they were each other's light. Like, okay, I need to get back to get to Kevin. And he was basically like, I need to stay alive and do what I need to do to get back to Dana, which I kind of, that little part, I guess I liked as far as their dynamic and love for each other. But,
right.
You know.
And I also think, I think if he hadn't been there so long, I don't know if their marriage in the real world would have made it, because he was still so just like, at the beginning, before the long trip. He had to experience almost being killed himself for helping with the Underground Railroad and learning how to navigate as a white man who does not agree with slavery, and
Yes. And I feel
and
like
said he stayed there. Oh, sorry. I think they said he stayed on the farm initially for like a year and a half before he even left, right?
Wait,
so he left. I was pissed that he left. Why would you do that if you know that she can come back at any time? Why?
Right.
Did you do that?
In a place where phones do not exist.
Right. I can't call. And speaking of phones and stuff, the fact that Rufy did not send those letters pissed me off.
Because he's selfish. He's selfish.
So many times I wanted to throw this Kindle across the room.
And just like a little disclaimer for that. Rufy, when Dana first got there and realized that Kevin was gone, she had asked Rufy to like write the letter. Y'all know Rufy wasn't the sharpest tool in the tool shed. So she wrote the letters herself, and he was supposed to be sending them to her man. He did not send them twice. That's the only time I actually liked the daddy. That's the only time he got a pass for me, was the fact that he sent it himself.
Yes. Hold on.
I 100% agree, because Rufy would have never sent him.
Yeah.
He was so obsessed.
He wouldn't have. And there was one thing, I'm sorry to backtrack to you from what you said about the whole epigenetics thing. On page 111, I don't know if it's 111 for you in the Kindle, but in the book, this is going back to when they're talking about their families, Kevin and Dana. And he was like, how did your family react when you told them about me? And he said, I think my aunt accepts the idea of my marrying you because any children we have will be lighter than I am anyway. She always said I was a little too highly visible. I told you they were old school. She doesn't care much for white people, but she prefers light-skinned blacks.
Wow.
Like, that's like
disgusting.
That's of course, that is epigenetics, but that's passed down to like And I wanted another idea. It kind of flipped that the house slave light skin thing on its head because Alice was treated like shit.
Yeah.
But I still think it is that idea of like, oh, if you were in the house, you were treated a little better. Because even like some of the slaves like didn't like Alice because it's like she chose to be with this man, which she did. But even then, it's like, oh, you still have a quote unquote better in a way. That broke me too when she died. I
could not believe Rupi. And like, here's the thing: like, there were so many times where I was like,
give him a nickname,
Rufus.
Ugly ass name, Rufus. Ugly ass name for ugly person.
I was just so upset with him because I'm like, I feel like the book put me in a position to hope with her, to hope with Dana. And I hated that because every time we would think, I mean, he can't do that. They're his kids. Like he loves them. We think, you know, is it a weird kind of love he has for Alice? Yeah, but he loves Alice. He wouldn't. And then he does. He would, and he did. It was just, it was so frustrating. I was gonna say something else, but then it fled from my mind. So I can't remember where I was going with that. But yeah,
there's one thing that she said, which I feel like is very relevant now. It's on page 100, 140, where she saves him this. I think this is the time she saves him when he's getting beat up by Alice's husband, I think. I think this is it. But he finds her book. He finds Dana's like African American history book. And he's reading it and she's like, oh shit, like you can't read this because this is stuff that's like never happened yet. And he's like mad that slavery is over and he's like she's explaining it to him. And then he literally says, why are they still complaining about it? And we hear that shit now. Like to this day, we hear that. And he's still angry about it. And what I love that she says to him, she's like, that's history. It happened whether it offends you or not. And we're seeing this shit play out like right now. Like it doesn't matter if it offends you. Like, oh, your ancestors did something bad. Okay. It happened. Deal with it. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You can't hide it. And I just think it's crazy that she's writing this in 1976 and there's still a lot of people out there.
Yes.
Why are you complaining? It happened so long ago.
And the whole time,
meanwhile, all of the effects still in play. Not at all.
Really not. And trying to
I was just telling somebody, yeah. And that's the thing. If they wouldn't try to erase it so hard and would address the effects and remedy them, then maybe we could move forward. But they're not.
It's like sweep it under the rug.
We can't until it is.
Yeah.
No.
Like I had to literally tell somebody just yesterday, like, y'all act like all of this stuff was so far away. My grandparents, which first of all, my mom was a young mom, a teenage mom, so my grandparents are fairly young compared to most grandparents. They all experienced segregation. All of them. My great-grandmother used to work in the field. My great-great-grandmother, who was alive until I was about 10 years old, remembers all of that.
Yes.
So, very, very recent.
And I think it's a mentality like, well, if we just stop bringing it up, we can move on from it and leave it alone. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. It just festers until it boils over. And I saw something on TikTok where someone was like, does Germany have their issues? Yeah. But it's to the point now where it's like, you can't have a Nazi symbol in Germany. You will get arrested. It is illegal. They have to learn about it. It's required for German students to, like, I think, to go to different concentration camps. Like they have to learn from what they did. Is it embarrassing? Yeah, but they learn from it. And someone was like, if they had done this after like the Civil War, America probably wouldn't be having the problems that we have now. if they had dealt with it. But
And it was a
we're still
concerted
fucking here.
effort to not do that. It was a concerted effort. Like, the Daughters of the Confederacy, I'm going to give y'all a quick history lesson. Okay?
Yes. I'm
The
so glad you
Daughters
brought
of the
that up.
Confederacy actively went around all of the states and said, hey, actually, don't say it like this. Say it like this. This actually happened. Say it like this, to sanitize the stories. Most of what we learn in school is way, way, way kiddie version, super sweet version of what the enslaved people actually went through.
I think there was one. This
And
was like
until
two.
you,
Oh, keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry.
no, I was
No,
about to rant, girl.
no, because
You did right.
this was like 2 years ago. I think I forgot what the history thing was. We were talking about something, and you had asked me something, and I was like, "Yeah, didn't you learn that? Like, this is." I forgot what it was.
I remember that. I can't
But
remember
you
what it
learned,
was.
yeah, but like you learned something different because me growing up in New York, like the obviously the education is different. What we learn is different. I was like, I think it was like the cotton gin or something like that. I think it was like, I was like, oh,
Eli
didn't you?
Whitney.
Yes, yes. And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
yeah, he took it from a black. It was an enslaved person. He took the idea, and you didn't know that. And I was like, oh, like
No,
you know
I
about
thought he was black.
Oh, you thought he was? Oh, yeah, no.
I thought he was black. And
Oh, no.
Rikia, did you learn about Eli Whitney in school?
I don't
With the cotton
think.
gin?
I feel like we learned about MLK, Rosa Parks, and like those main ones, and then any other stuff that I learned, it was based off something that my mom or like family members had taught me, or I just genuinely wanted to know.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We didn't learn a lot. And for the longest time, I thought Eli Whitney was black.
Mm.
Because, I mean, we would learn about him during Black History Month.
That's crazy.
And why would they teach us about a white man that made something to improve slavery? It's still not computing in my brain. North Carolina, do better.
And it was like there were moments too where it's because even like growing up in New York, we learn more. Yeah, we learn about the Civil War, obviously, but I think the American Revolution is bigger because it happened up there. Whereas like down here, the Civil War was like a big thing. And I remember like growing up, I didn't understand like why they had like Civil War reenactments down here. I didn't understand why people were harping on the Civil War so much. I was like, y'all lost. Like, why you keep talking about it? And I didn't understand the whole states' rights. It's like, we didn't learn about the states. We didn't learn about states' rights. It was a fight over slavery. That's what it was. So, like when I heard as I got older about the states' rights, I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like you said, it's the Daughters of the Confederacy or whatever that did all of this to change the textbooks. And like, and you see it in a lot of these people that they have this skewed idea of history, and it's insane. How did we get on this topic? What were we talking about before this?
I can't remember.
I'm supposed to be the one with the notes. I have the notes. I'm supposed to keep track, and we're just like,
It's fine. I think it was a necessary segue because this book brought up a lot. It definitely did. It was a necessary read. I'm glad we did it.
Am I gonna read it?
It's one of those books where I was like,
no. The minute this book was on, I closed it. I put it in my bookshelf. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, we won't be revisiting, but
like
it was a good book.
And it's crazy to think like how y'all were saying, it was certain things that like we learned that Alicia didn't learn. Like it's gonna be things that we know that like our nephews or future kids and stuff will have no idea about, and it will no longer be taught. It will be wiped away from the internet just because like they don't want their kids to know or their grandkids to know like this is what really happened, and that's crazy to me.
I remember with my niece, this was, I think she was in middle school or whatever, and they were doing something. I forgot what it was, but it had something to do with slaves. And they said it had said something to where it kind of like, oh, not saying it wasn't that bad, but it was like, what the hell was it? Basically making light of slavery. And I'm looking at her homework. I was like, this isn't what happened. And she was like, what? I was like, this isn't what happened. And I showed it to my brother, flipped out. He was pissed because for context, my niece lives in Florida, so that whole Florida education system now. Anyway, But he flipped out. He was pissed, and he's like, they used to do this to us, like blah blah blah, like all of this stuff. And he was like, do not answer that question the way that your teacher wants you to answer the question. This is how you're gonna answer it. So it was even starting like, and she's like 16 years old now. So this was happening back then. And it's only gonna get worse. Like you were saying, Ricky, like there was a TikTok I saw where this teacher was arguing with her students because the students were like, oh yeah, the slaves got paid. And she's like,
I saw that.
Yes, she's like, no, that's not what slavery is. And they were arguing down. Like I would have the next lesson I would put on Roots. We're all gonna get traumatized. All of us.
This is what you think.
And I think
I still can't believe it. That video's, yeah, I would have. I don't know what I would. Them kids would get cussed out. Because what you mean? First of all, why
How
are you
you gonna tell me?
And I'm the teacher.
I have the degree.
First of all,
I have the degree, not you.
Okay.
Please.
Look.
Second of all, like, what do you mean slavery equals not paid?
Because that's what I think. That's what they're trying to do. Like I know in Florida, they're making it seem like, oh, they learned skills. They learned marketable skills.
No, I either picked cotton or I got beat. I cut sugarcane or I got beat. No.
And it's that simple. Like, and it gets even if you.
And how many Floridians know that Florida used to be a free state when it was owned by the Spanish? That people would literally escape from South Carolina, Georgia to come to Florida. And the only reason why Florida became a state was because the United States was mad that slaves were going there to be free.
Oh, always. Anything that they don't do or don't create, it causes a ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's irritating.
I would like to go. I just.
There's another
angering. This is why. Yeah.
Yes, this is why, because it brings up. So this is actually a good question too. How would the story have been different with a third-person narrator? Like, do you think our emotions would be as? I think they would still be as tied to it. But how do you think it would affect the story if it was a third person?
I don't think third person would have been appropriate for this story, honestly.
From their very own point of view.
She made the right decision.
This one, Dana states, it was that destructive, single-minded love of his, talking about Rufus. He loved me, not in the way he loved Alice, thank God. He didn't seem to want to sleep with me, but he wanted me around, someone to talk to, someone who would listen to him and care about what he said. How does the relationship between Dana and Rufus develop? How does it change? What are the different levels of love portrayed in Kindred? I don't think of love when I think of this book. I think of a fucked up type of abuse. Control, yes. An abuse type of love.
Yeah.
I think a sacrifice.
Very controlling and
actually Nigel and Carrie were the only ones. Nigel and Carrie were the only ones that actually loved each other.
Sometimes when I think about that too, like, is it love or is it convenience? I'm single, you're single, I'm young, you're young. Master wants us to make babies. We can make healthy babies, so let's make healthy babies.
Oh, I don't think about that. Okay, I was trying to be like positive.
Oh, so sorry. But like, yeah, I mean, because he was sweet on her, but like,
yes. And Sarah did love her husband, but then he got taken away, and her babies got taken away.
Well, Alice's husband as well, before Rufus got him sent up.
Yeah,
children, the different type of love, not adult love of children.
Yes, but like you said, it was a control thing, and I think his love for Alice was a control thing because he couldn't stand the fact that she picked, I think it was Isaac, over him. Like you didn't even stand a chance.
She didn't
to begin with. No, because I feel like at the same time, I feel like the enslaved people, they understood the hierarchy of it.
Right.
And I think the white people, Rufus in particular, didn't. Again, it's like there's this disconnect where it's like, you're not a person. You were literally not legally, you are not a person. I can have you. So why don't you want me? And that woman hated you.
Mm-hmm.
And I blame him for her killing herself.
100% his fault.
Like, ugh. Mm.
And I feel like
He did everything he could to take away her agency.
Yes.
Almost like predatory, almost like seeking her out in young age, being friends. And then the older she gets, I guess the more they turn into having those feelings that you have when you get older. For her to go get married, be happy, and be free, you took away her entire life. She was a free woman. She was born free. And because she decided that she didn't want you, you took everything from her. Why?
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him so much. And it's like, and he was always just mean spirited, because he was mean to, well, granted, his mom was mean too, but he was mean to his mom. Like, was it the scene where she's like, stop touching me, like, get off me, I don't want you, blah blah blah. So he was always mean. But I feel like, not to blame the mom, because whenever men are shitty, it's always like it's the mom's fault.
In this case, blame her though. But yeah, go ahead.
It is the mom's fault, and I feel like there was some, and I'm paraphrasing this so terribly, and it's the mammification of Black women, where men, and actually people in general, feel safe with Black women, where it's like, oh, that stereotype, oh honey, if you're ever missing, go find a Black woman, because she's always gonna be the savior, she's always gonna help you, blah blah blah. And I think it's that idea that, because it was Auntie Sarah. Yes, go.
Oh no, you go ahead, because it might be the same part.
Because it was like how he called her Auntie Sarah and stuff like that. I think it was that mammy trope, and he wanted comfort, and this is who they had to comfort you, they had to coddle you, or they would die.
Right.
They don't want to do it.
I'm not here because I want to,
so
baby.
let me read this quick quote. It was on page 159, and this is about Sarah. She had done the safe thing. She had accepted a life of slavery because she was afraid. She was the kind of woman who might have been called mammy in some other household. She was the kind of woman who would be held in contempt during the militant 1960s. The house nigger, the handkerchief head, the female Uncle Tom, which I hate that they used Uncle Tom, but the frightened, powerless woman who had already lost all she could stand to lose, and who knew as little about the freedom of the North as she knew about the hereafter. And that's exactly it. Like, there is no choice in the matter. If you feel in danger, you're going to do what you have to do to save your life. This is after, I can't remember if it was, somebody was trying to get Sarah to run. She said, no, absolutely not. We're not doing that.
Yeah. Was it
because
Dana?
she knew the danger. It might have been Dana, because I think that's when she tried to run away to find her husband. She was like, no. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's the mammification. It's the reliance on Black women to be, a certain way. But like, we don't have a choice. Like, I was just talking to some friends about this a couple weeks ago, where I was like, my whole life I've attracted white people who want to just be my bestie. Oh my gosh, Tia, I just love you so much. You're so sweet. Like, you can be my always. And it's because I'm open and I have a friendly. But do you know, it took so long for me to have a friendly face.
10 minutes right now, like, before we like cut to everything, the ending. How did you like the ending? If you like the ending.
You go, Rakia.
Everybody's pausing. Okay. There's like,
yeah.
I feel like we on the same page.
I read the twice. I had to go back because at first I was like, what just happened? So basically she sticks him to death. I won't say the other thing because I'm not sure. But she sticks him and then he essentially like dies. But like I was saying, I was confused because what happened with the arm? The arm was left in the past, or the fact that he like grabbed
was a
it? I was like,
question.
what happened to it?
That's
I
actually a
think
question. Dana loses her left arm as she emerges for the last time in the novel from the past. Why is this significant? Because I feel like a part of her is still
there.
Because I feel like she can no longer live her present life anymore as she knows it. Because it's always going to be back there. That's how I took it.
She already has the scar. She got cut up wrist. She got a cut up back. Why you gotta take my arm?
Yeah.
You know, took everything else. She took my what I thought of like overall full sanity, what I thought life could look like or would look like, and now I mean, of course, there's people out here who live wonderful lives who are, you know, missing limbs and stuff like that. But why do I have to have that mark? And then to me, that's a constant reminder. How do I forget if every time I look down, I remember essentially what happened to me?
Maybe that's the purpose. Maybe that's the reason to never forget. Like, to never forget, like, what your ancestors went through, what your lineage. Ooh. Damn,
that makes sense.
That does.
Maybe that's what it is.
Because essentially, a lot of the anxiety I felt from the book, and she would have, even when she would be home, is like, I never know.
Yeah.
Be,
can't drive.
Like, she's
can't
carrying around a duffel bag. You got to always be touching it. Like, she can't let that go because she always sees
that.
Yeah.
I wanted a happy ending. I don't know. And I was just thinking, like, maybe they were going to go and she was going to find different news. But it's like, no, they were sold off. We don't know what happened to, who was it?
But it wasn't everybody.
I think Sarah was
I think it was.
No, it wasn't everybody.
I think it was Nigel, Alice, and maybe Sarah that wasn't sold off.
Alice,
so like, no, not Alice. Carrie and Nigel.
Carrie, yeah.
Where did they go?
Yeah. I think they might have ran because they weren't even listed, right? I feel like they weren't listed.
No, they weren't listed. I'm trying to find it.
But then I was like, did they
flew to Maryland?
Were listed.
Yeah.
It said her home was gone.
That's a good point.
The slaves were listed by their first. Who?
In the fire.
Yeah, because I think Nigel set the house on fire afterwards.
Yeah.
Because the plantation was gone. It said, the only clue we found, more than a clue really, was an old newspaper article. A notice that Mr. Rufus Whalen had been killed when his house caught fire and was partially destroyed, and in later papers, a notice of the sale of the slaves from Mr. Rufus Whalen's estate. The slaves were listed by their first names with their approximate ages and their skills given. All three of Nigel's... I'm crying, sorry. All three of Nigel's sons were listed, but not Nigel and Carrie. So what if they died? I didn't process that. Sarah was listed, but Joe and Hagar were not.
No,
so Nigel and Carrie were listed. Sarah was listed. Joe and Hagar, who were the kids. So Hagar was her like great grandmother, something like that. Everyone else was listed. Everyone. I thought about that to get as many pieces as I could. Nigel had probably set the fire to cover what I had done, and Rufus was assumed to have burned to death. Damn, he must have managed to get Margaret Whalen out of the house alive, who was his mom, because there was no mention of her dying. And Margaret had relatives in Baltimore. Also, Hagar's home had been in Baltimore. That's crazy.
So maybe that's how they lived on. If Carrie and Nigel took, because the whole book was to keep Hagar alive. So maybe they took her somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. God.
Yeah. And I had a thought too. Once she would have pushed out Hagar, Ruthie would have had to go. I already did what I needed to do. After she had a baby and I found out what the baby name was, it's over for you, buddy. It's over for you.
Exactly. And I think like if she would have stuck with the plan, I don't think he ever wanted to free them anyway, because she kept trying to convince him to do it. But he's like, oh, you're going to kill me after I make it. Well, she killed you anyway.
Right.
beforehand.
She should have just stuck with it. Like, because I understand the hesitation she had, but ma'am, you're being taken back to 3 times. Like, do what you need to do.
Yes, and he's trying to keep you. And then again, like that trauma of like being almost raped by your great, 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 whatever grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And
That's
okay.
a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot. I can't.
I had a thought too with that, because technically, did she really kill him? Because he's like a cat with 9 lives. Because every time she came to him, he was essentially supposed to be dying. He would have died as a child if it wasn't for her drowning in that swamp water lake, and then getting beat
I don't
up.
think he. I don't think he died. I think she could have. He could have died. I think maybe he died, and then Nigel set the house on fire. Because that would have been fucked up. Can you imagine him just laying there dying, and then you're being burnt alive? Like, shit. But I don't care too much about what happened to him. I don't.
He deserved whatever it was.
Right.
He deserved worse. He deserved worse.
Yeah. I still can't believe he did that with his children.
Exactly.
But I think, like, even too, like, thinking back at it, like, the not knowing, because let's be like, a lot of us don't know. A lot of us don't know. Like, I know where my great grandmother on my dad's side, I know that whole side. My maternal grandmother, I don't know. I know they came from Virginia, but that's it. My paternal grandfather, I'm already a little bit drunk, y'all.
It'd be like that.
I can't get my words out. I know more about that. I know they were in North Carolina. What's crazy is my great grandfather is buried an hour and a half away from here.
You said your great grandfather?
Yeah. Because we get from North Carolina and then up to New York. So, like, and I think the plantation where they were at is on the border of North Carolina and Virginia. So, like, I have the names. I have the name of the plantation. I have how many slaves this man owned.
What?
Yeah. It's that's the thing. It's not fun. It's not fun to know.
But it's like,
so I can't even imagine, like,
information to have.
Yes, I'm grateful for the information. I love that I know that information, but, like, I wonder, because I feel like a lot of us, we want to know these things.
Right.
I'm fine having an idea of what I would never want to experience what she experienced, because I would come back hating everything.
Everything. Right.
Don't even look at me. Don't even look at me.
No. Let's be there's a clip of New York. You remember I Love New York? Flavor Flav New York? Stephanie Pollard?
Yes.
I think she's married to a white man too. But there's a clip of her, like, where she's, like, saying something on the news. She's like, I can't even, like, look at him sometimes because I just get so angry. And listen, my husband doesn't really fuck with white people like that either, ironically enough. Did I get mad at him after reading this book? Yes. I was irritated. I was pissed off.
That's why.
The kids family's not even from here. They're from fucking Canada. So it's like, hey, not even, whatever, but still. I was mad. That's how I felt. So if I had to go through this, I'm sorry. We would have been divorced. Or make sure when you do follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, we are going to be having stuff called solo sessions, where each of us, of course, we're not going to read the same books all the time. So each of us, every so often, will have our own little, like, solo sessions of whatever book we are reading. I have to record mine. The book that I just finished reading was Lore of the Wilds. I forgot the author's name, but Lore of the Wilds. So be on the lookout for that.
Definitely.
All right. Well, this was a great episode. Thank y'all for being with us. I hope to see y'all next week. Come hang out, have your drink ready, get ready to read some Kennedy Ryan with us, and we'll see you next.
Bye.
Bye, guys.